Hey, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today we're looking at some pandas trying to pay off some meerkats to escape the zoo. It's time for Pilfering Pandas. This is a prototype version of the game I was sent by Ren Games, and it should be coming to Kickstarter soon. I'm going to show you a bit of how it plays, specifically the cooperative mode that can also be played solo. The game also plays competitive, but I haven't tried that. Pilfering Pandas is at its heart a rummy-style game where you're putting together sets. I'll quickly talk through the rules and basics of solo play, then I'll do a full solo playthrough, and if you wait until the end, you can hear my thoughts on the game. And hey, if you like the content here on the One Stop Co-op Shop, like the video so more people see our stuff, subscribe, join our Discord for great conversations, check out our separate streaming channel for even more content, listen to our weekly podcast, we got a lot of stuff going on, and please consider supporting us on Patreon for cool perks like early access to our videos. So what I'll be showing you here is a solo playthrough, but the co-op rules are mostly the same, they just add a couple of extra elements. But each player is going to have their own panda card with a special power. How adorable are they? And this is a once per game power. If I use it, it goes away. And additionally, I start with a hand of 6 cards. And these cards go from values 1 through 9, although in solo you'll only use 1 through 8. And they're also divided into 5 suits by color and icon, like the little snail here or the little rabbit here. And there are also key cards, which are wild and have several different uses. We'll get into those. But before we get into specifics, the way you win the game is by moving your panda marker all the way to either the 29 or the 35 space. Like I said, the game is very tough, so I'm going to play on easier mode and just try to get to 29. And then if my entire hand of cards is empty, I can trigger the end of the game. It's supposed to represent these meerkats helping me because I gave them enough food. That's what the cards represent, for them to help us escape the zoo. But every turn, and also when we do certain actions, this zookeeper marker is going to advance as he becomes more and more suspicious of our activities, and if he ever reaches us, we lose the game. So we have to get around faster than he can catch us. With that overview out of the way, let's get to the actual steps of a turn. So first you have your hand of cards, and you're going to add 1 or more cards to it at the beginning of each round. You can either take the topmost card of the deck, or you can take the rightmost card of what's called the hideout right here, which I'm having it to the right of the deck. This area over here is something a little different. So I could take this top card, I could take these keys, or the final option is to do a multi-card pickup where I take more than 1 card. But when I do that, I'm going to advance the zookeeper a whole bunch, 4 spaces, and also the final card I pick up, I have to use that same round. So it's definitely something you'll have to do a couple of times per game probably, but not something you want to do lightly without considering it carefully. After I've taken my 1 or more cards, I can then do as many actions as I like. But the main action, the real focus of the game, is to place sets of cards to these different meerkat areas. You have 2 meerkats in the game. And that's the only way I can advance my panda marker towards escape. So what can I play from my hand? Well, this is where the game gets into rummy territory. You can first of all play 3 of a kind, like the 3 7s I started with here. Or you can play 3 in a row, but they have to be all from the same suit, and it could be ascending or descending in number value. And it doesn't have to be 3 cards, you can play 4 7s or 5 7s. Or a run all the way from 1 to 8 if you're amazing. And what you do when you play a set is, for every panda icon on the card, you move your panda token 1 space forward. So here I would move forward 3. And you have to put them in one of the continuing rows for the meerkats that are helping you. And a quick special rule, it doesn't happen too often, but it is possible. If the set you played contains cards of each of these suits here, you can have other suits as well, you get a bonus 1 panda movement for doing so. But like I said, that doesn't happen too often. What is important though is that after you play a set or build on one, we'll get to that in a second, you're going to have to move the zookeeper forward. If there are now 1 through 6 cards next to the meerkat, you only move them 1 space. But if you've gotten up to 7 or more cards, then you move them 3 spaces. Which is a major reason you want to switch back and forth between the 2 meerkats until you've hit that high value for both of them, and it doesn't matter much anymore. Now, I mentioned adding to sets. If I later got another 7, I could, as an action, play it on here. But when you do that, only place like 1 card next to another one. You only move the panda value of that single card, but you still move the zookeeper the full value, so it's often not really worth it. But another option is to start a new set. The key thing, though, is that whichever card you put down next has to match either the color or the value of the rightmost card. So like if I had 3 4s, I could put them down like this, where I have a purple next to a purple. But I couldn't do it like this and have the blue next to a purple. That would break kind of the line on that meerkat. But even better, I love when I can pull this off. You can take the rightmost card and build a new set with that being part of the set. So I could go like 7 6 5 here. And in that case, unlike when you just add a single card on, you do get the full value of the cards you played and the one extra card from the previous set that you added onto this new set. Now, keys are wild. They can sub in for any card. Well, the big negative of them is they don't move the panda at all. Instead, they move the zookeeper twice because I guess he notices you messing with his keys. And another action you can take is if there's a played key and you have a card that would replace it, you can do that and get the key back to use. Because another use of keys, very important, is you can just discard them from your hand, get them out of the game, to move the zookeeper back 2 spaces. That's basically the only way to kind of arrest their movement. So all of that was the action phase, and then to end your turn, like many rummy games, you have to take any one card from your hand and add it to the hideout, becoming the new rightmost card. And there's just one small rules restriction on that. If you took the rightmost card of the hideout as your draw turn, you can't put the exact card right back. You can't basically take a card planning to do nothing with it. And after putting your card on the hideout, the zookeeper moves 1 space. So they're moving when you take a bunch of cards, they're moving whenever you give stuff to the meerkats, and they're just moving every round anyway because they hate you and they want to catch you. Now, the last part of a turn, which only applies to solo play, I haven't talked about these 3 cards to the left of the deck here yet. Those are your secret stash, basically like extra cards you can kind of see coming. And at the end of each round, I'm going to take one of them and add it to the hideout. And if possible, I have to make it match the rightmost card of the hideout, either in color or value. So like if the 5 yellow is there, I would have to put the 5 purple. I could not choose to do the 4 purple or the key. In fact, the only way you can take a key from the secret stash and add it to the hideout is if it does not match, in which case you can pick whichever card you want. Alright, so those are the basics. Let's do a solo playthrough and then check out the end for my impressions of the game. So I started out with a set all ready to go. I've got 2 4s here and an easily accessible 4 there. I've got 4, 5, 7 purple, but the 6 that I was using in my demonstrations is lost somewhere in the deck. And then I've got this 3. That'll probably be my first discard. Plus some keys. I want to grab those whenever I can. More, in my experience, for pushing the zookeeper back than using them as a wild, but I guess anything's possible. So let me go ahead and grab this for my card draw. And then there's no huge hurry to play my cards yet. I could play the 7s, but I don't really have to yet. Although in solo, my max hand size is 12, so I can't just grab a million cards and hang on to them forever. So I'm going to discard the 3. Zookeeper's going to make his first move. And none of the cards in the secret stash are a 3 or a green, so I'm going to put the 4. That'll complete my second set of 3 there. And then you always just add a card to kind of fill this up. A 6 yellow, not helping me much. Alright, but now we're in kind of a tight spot, and the game does this to you constantly. I can draw the 4, but I can't play my 7 and my 4 and then discard the key. The game would end immediately because I'd have no cards left. So I'm actually not going to take the 4. Let's get some other blood injected here. Again, it's a 6 blue. That's, again, only 2 6s in the game. I guess I'll discard that. Oh, and then I have to discard the 6 yellow from the secret stash. And, of course, the zookeeper moves to space 2. And we got a 1 purple. That's not doing much for us. I should mention briefly my Panda's special ability. It says you may pick up multiple cards from the hideout with half the penalty. I said before, usually taking more than 1 card from the hideout will make the zookeeper move 4 spaces. Once per game, I can make it 2 instead. So it's kind of like 2 extra time to help me out. Alright, well, I don't like those 6s, so let's go ahead and draw from the top this time. 2 red. Man, I guess there's a 1 red there, but besides that, that is useless to me. And just a reminder, to win, not only do you have to get past the victory space, but you have to have your hand empty, so that can be pretty tough. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my first set of keys. So the zookeeper will go back to 0, and then when I discard the card, he goes up to 1. Oh, it doesn't match anything, so actually I'm going to get their keys out, since I can only do that when there's not a match. They get a 3 fox. I got a 4 fox, I got a 1... Oh, I got a 1 and 2 fox? Nice, okay. So I might do my first giant pickup and then play a bunch of stuff soon. Alright, so for this turn, I think I'm going to grab the keys because I'm worried if I draw from the top, it'll be an extra card in the hideout and I might not be able to draw everything I want to without going over the 12 limit. And then for my discard, let's get rid of one of my 2 4s. I'll get it back in a second. And then nothing matches, so I can do my red 3, and I should be ready to go up a bunch. And the zookeeper is getting pretty close. So yeah, going into this turn, I'm going to use my once per game ability. I'm only going to move him 2 because I'm definitely taking a bunch of cards. Oh man, you know what? I did mess up. I wanted to get 1, 2, 3, I guess. But that is 4, 8 cards, which means 11, 13. I literally could not do that pickup action. So instead, I'll grab the 3 red, I'll play my 7s in a second, and then I'll discard something, and that way my hand size will be lower, and I'll be able to fit everything. Okay, the 7s are green, red, purple, which unfortunately does not match all the colors of any of them, but I just have to match one of the colors, and it has to be the leftmost card I play. So purple would work for this guy, and red would work over here. I think I might be about to play some more red cards. I'm going to leave that option, so I'm going to do the purple on the left to match him, and the red on the right to be able to chain into other cards. I'm moving 3, and since it is not over 6 cards on this Meerkat, the Zookeeper's moving 1. Run away! Alright, that's my only action. I'll put the 4 back. And then I guess the 5 looks the best from here with the 4 purple in there already. Oh, and there's another 4, okay. And the Zookeeper comes up again. Alright, so here we go. Now I'm going to use my once per game ability. I'm going to grab all the cards. Remember, I have to use the last one I grabbed. I'm actually going to grab everything up to the 1. So let's see, that is 5, 9, 11. I'm not over my limit. Normally that would move the Zookeeper 4, but with my power it's only 2. Man, I've got a lot of cards. Remember, the last card I drew was the, I think, red 1, so I have to use that in a set this turn. But I could chain pretty easily here. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then use that same 4 again in a triple 4. And then I'm almost ready to do 4, 5, 6. I guess I could use the key to do that. Or almost ready to do 3 6s. Oh man, if I got that 6 purple, that would be amazing. But for now, let's do these basic ones. And I guess I'll do it over here so I don't go too high. So red, because he likes red. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my first set for 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the Zookeeper is only moving 1. Then I'll use that 4, and do I want to end with... Yeah, I want to end with a purple since I already have the 5. So 4, 4, 4. So that's 1, 2, 4 more movement. And we're still at 6. We're going to turn this card to show we've reached the Zookeeper limit. Just as a little reminder that any card we add extra now will make him move 3 instead of 1. But 1, 2, 3, 4, and only 1. This is a great little boost we've gotten at the beginning here. And all right. 4, 5, 6. I didn't even see that. And then the 6 is... So I'm definitely going to get rid of the 3, I think. And the Zookeeper's still trucking. And before we do the secret stash play, if the hideout ever ends the round with fewer than 3 cards, you fill it back up to 3. Oh, interesting. Now I can place anything I want. I guess the 4. Not that I'm necessarily going to do a multi-pickup again already, but I got to be planning for it. And they get a... Oh, wait, is that the... Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay. So remember, I've got the 4 purple sitting over there. So I could go 4, 5, 6 purple, 6, 6, 6, end with yellow 6, 6, 5, 4. Oh, my gosh. How much movement even is that? Yeah, that is 10 movement, which would leave me 1 shy. Ah, man. Okay, so that's not victory all by itself, but it's certainly a nice thing to shoot for. I know, I guess I could use the keys to be a wild, maybe? Although I hate moving the Zookeeper even more. But yeah, I think I'm going to try to get the 6 in there and the 2, and then just go ham with a bunch of cards, which means I don't want extra cards hanging out of my hand. So I'm just going to take this for my draw this turn, with the intention of drawing everything pretty soon. And I'll put back, I want it to be something that lets me get the 2 and the 6 in here, so it won't hurt if I just put another 6 down. And from the secret stash, I have to add the other 6. And okay, I don't care about that. But the Zookeeper moves again. And I have to bide my time for 1 more turn. I'll draw this 6. I can't discard it right away. I want to get the 2 in there, so I don't want a purple or a 1 or a 3. So sure, this yellow 4 will do fine. And there we go. A 2 yellow. That I don't care about. And Zookeeper moves again, but I think I'm about to do it. That's how quickly the game can go when the luck turns well. Although, I'm playing on easy. If I was playing on normal, I'd have to go many more spaces and would have to long play a bit more. We'll see if my plan works. I'm going to draw everything. I can fit that many. That's good. That makes the Zookeeper move 4 spaces. And now here we go, and I think I'm playing like all of these to this bad one. Let's see if I can get any of them over there. But first we'll do the stuff I know is happening. So 5, 6, continuing the run. That's going to be 4 movement for me and 3 for the Zookeeper. I know we'll actually both be in the view, won't we? Blip. Okay, and then some more 6s, the blue and the yellow. So I'm still using the purple, so that's 3 for me and 3 for him. Okay, and then keep chaining, keep chaining. The 5 and the 4, so that'll be 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, 1 shy, 3 for him. Now, what do we do? What do we do? Well, we get clever. We're going to say that's a 4 green, 3 green, 2 green. That'll get us 3 movement right over the edge, and he gets 2 plus 3 Gs. But at least on easy mode, we've passed where we need to be, and we might as well discard our final key to get him there, because we can only check for victory if our hand is empty. And there we go, that was a quick solo game, but you can see it wouldn't necessarily go too much longer with the Zookeeper advancing every round. You can't really bide your time forever. So that's Pilfering Pandas, and what do I think about this one? Well, first of all, I want to say the art is adorable. I like how they kind of did like sort of this origami-ish, like paper-created art for it. My son definitely enjoyed it a lot too when we played together. But besides the art, I think probably the coolest thing about this game for me is the fact that it is solo and cooperative rummy. Because I used to play gin rummy and all these other rummy variations and all these melding card games with my family all the time, but they were always competitive, so the idea of having one you can play solo, as you just saw, or co-op is pretty fun. And I'll say, even though I didn't show it in the playthrough, that I think co-op is pretty cool because you have more cards in the mix, and you can communicate with each other. Now, the rules have, limitations, they don't want you to say specific cards, but they also say feel free to ignore this. Like, when I play with my 8-year-old, we would certainly, say the exact things, like, ooh, Dad, if you play a 4 yellow, I can combo off of that. So, I think there's some fun possibilities in the cooperative play. Although on that topic, as you saw, the game goes very quickly, and it's not too different in co-op. So I played most of my co-op 2-player, and I think with 3 or 4, you might not get that many turns, so it might not be as exciting as it would be otherwise. Now, something else to be aware of, and you kind of saw it in my playthrough, the game can have a ton of combo opportunities and building off cards. That can be really cool. But also it can sometimes feel a little bit random, if the cards just don't come out that will help you complete your sets, then you cannot win. Now that's not necessarily a big deal because the game is very fast, and for solo players especially, they might really enjoy the puzzly challenge because, especially trying to win on normal or hard difficulty where you have to reach the 35, I've only done that once out of many games. Now, I've never played competitive, so I can't speak on that, but in terms of solo co-op, I think if you like classic rummy games, if you want a cute, but also at the same time pretty challenging, quick little card game, you might want to look into this one. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you at the next stop.